Hello, my name is Bobbi Baugh, and my artwork in this exhibit is called Seeing Through to the Light. I live and create my work in DeLand, Florida, so being in this beautiful museum a long way from home is an honor. And I love this Sakwa exhibit and the theme, so I wanted to show you more about my work and how I created it. Seeing Through to the Light has three parts. You'll notice that there's a photo in the middle and some fabric above and below. The photo was actually the inspiration, so that's where I'm going to begin. It was a photo that I took, and it was very important to me, and I've used it in several works. This is where I shot that photo. It's an abandoned house in rural South Carolina. I saw it by the side of the road driving home from a family vacation. It was beautifully still. The southern pine needles were underfoot, and I walked right up to that window, looked through, and began to photograph. It was empty. It was mysterious. It was vine-filled, but it was, to me, very, very beautiful. It made me think of Sleeping Beauty's castle with all of the vines around it. And I wanted that to be the focal part of an image for a quilt. I cleaned that photo up and enhanced it some in my computer so that what you saw in the finished quilt was like what I saw standing there looking through. I love the sense of light. I love being able to see all of the details of the vines, and I love looking through those dividers between the windows. Back in the studio, I worked to transfer this photo onto fabric. I transfer my photos by hand onto muslin, and it's a very tactile process. I'm actually involved in the photo as I rub it into the fabric, and it helps me to get in touch with the meaning of all that I saw here. As you look at the photo close up, you can see there's a lot of stitching in it. And that was another way to get involved in the photo. I traced around all the lines of those vines, and it made me realize even more the complexity of that image and how really intriguing it was just to find such a thing. Above the window, I created fabric specifically for this quilt that would have colors and patterns that spoke to this image of light. I created work in this wonderful ochre green palette, and I began to introduce the linear elements of light shining through out from the windows. Below the windows are some lively circles. I think of them as light bubbles. I created those by a resist process, so I painted yellow and orange on a fabric and then put a resist over it and overpainted it in brown, so that color shows through just like the light shines through. Below the window is the darkest area. Not much imagery here, but lots of texture. And again, I've extended that linear element of light coming from a place going out through the darkness. This gives me a sense of energy and a feeling that the light is going someplace. All of the parts, I hope, work together when you look at this work, that you begin with an intriguing photograph, wondering where it came from and what it was about, and then see light and life coming from it. I remember when I look at it that it was an empty house where no one lived anymore. And yet they were there once, and so it provided a place of beauty and light that as an artist then I could recreate and think about how it lit the world.